Hello, boys and girls. Let's dive into some more reading. Do you guys remember when we went and looked outside our window to see if we could find new things? And we saw some new things. Do you remember when I noticed all of the trees that were in my yard? Well, did you know that when you go back and visit a friend, you get to know more about that person too? You learn new things. I bet that right now you could learn something new about me. How about this? Did you guys know that I love to four-wheel? Go on four-wheelers, ride around. It's so much fun. So, right now what I want you to do is I want you to share something new with a friend. Now, you might not have a friend at home, so what do? Share something new with a sibling or with your parents, or share something new with a stuffed animal if you have a stuffed animal nearby. Boys and girls, today what I want to teach you is that when you reread, you don't just see new things in the story. You also notice new things about your characters too. When you discover new details, you can think, what is this teaching me about this character? So let's dive into our story, Mr. Putter and Tabby Drop the Ball. So we are going to reread chapter 1 of Mr. Putter and Tabby Drop the Ball. As we reread, let's use what we already know about the characters to see if we can figure out new things. Mr. Putter and Tabby Drop the Ball. So as we read the first chapter, Baseball, I want you to think along with me. And if you're realizing something new, I want you to give yourself a thumbs up. Here we go. Chapter 1, Baseball. Mr. Putter and his fine cat, Tabby, loved to nap in the summertime. They loved napping in the garden. They loved napping on the porch. They loved napping in the car. It seems that we nap all the time, Mr. Putter said to Tabby one day. Tabby was old and her frisky days were over. She loved napping. I think we need a sport, said Mr. Putter. Tabby opened one eye. I think we need baseball, said Mr. Putter. Tabby opened the other eye. I wonder where my old mitt is, said Mr. Putter. He headed to the basement. Tabby was wide awake now. Do you know what? I'm giving myself a thumbs up. You know why? Because I noticed something. I noticed that there's a lot of sport equipment in his basement. Look, a bike, there is a tennis racket, a bowling ball, there's a mitt right here, like right down this corner. Oh, you can't see it right here. Like a baseball mitt. There are some skates, a bat. There's a whole bunch of sporting equipment down here. What does that teach us? I think that might teach us that Mr. Putter is really into sports. Maybe he loves to play sports. And that is our next chapter. So, boys and girls, we learned something new. We learned that Mr. Putter likes sports. I mean, look at his basement. It's filled with different sporting equipment. Boys and girls, reading is helping us learn so much more about Mr. Putter. You can reread and use the pictures and the words to notice new things about a character in your own books. Then you will think to yourself, what is this teaching me about this character? And guess what? You are going to understand your character even better. So, now it is your turn. You are going to pick a book that you have been working on. It could be a book on Epic, it could be a book that you have at home like I do right here, or it could be a book on Tumble Books. You are going to read and see if you can figure things out new about your character. Remember, friends, that when you can learn more about your characters, you can learn more about when you reread. Friends, let me re-say that. That did not make sense. So, you can learn more about your character by rereading carefully to notice new details. That makes so much more sense. Sorry, friends. Now, you're going to think to yourself, what is this teaching me about my character? And you are going to understand new things about them. When you learn more about your character, you are going to mark your page. Whether you write that page number down or you mark it with a sticky note I have my sticky notes right here. And I am going to mark mine with a sticky note because this is where I learned something new about my character. Boys and girls, give yourself a thumbs up when you are ready to start reading by rereading a book just like we read Mr. Putter and Tabby Dropped the Ball. Off you go.